Chinmoy Krishna Das Brahmachari, the spokesperson of the Bangladesh United Sanatan Awakening Alliance, has been presented in court in Chattogram, and in fact he's been denied bail in Bangladesh. Sources say his bail was denied due to grounds that are not yet clear. The Hindu priest is at the forefront of movement against atrocities against Hindus in Bangladesh. In fact, he was sent to the Chattogram jail from Dhaka overnight amidst demands for his immediate release. The BJP in West Bengal is organizing protests after former Prime Minister of Bangladesh, Sheikh Hasina, was forced to flee Bangladesh. Extremist Islamic forces have now targeted minorities, particularly Hindus, in the last 3 months. Let's get in my colleague Mohammad Ghazali to fill us in with the very latest as far as this case is concerned, which has actually sent shockwaves, Ghazali, around the Hindu community both in Bangladesh and around the world.
Yeah, what we have been told that the Magistrate Court of Qazi Shariful Islam has denied bail to this Hindu priest, and the charges, sources are confirming that in one of these protests back in October, when he was charged with this crime of treason, he was accused of disrespecting Bangladeshi flag, is what the actual charge is. But the larger picture is that even the Hindu community there in Bangladesh have been pleading the Indian government as well as other agencies to take note of it and pressure the Bangladesh's interim government led by Mr. Yunus to ensure that atrocities against minorities should stop at the earliest. But since August 5, since the regime change in Bangladesh, and a couple of weeks later when Mr. Yunus was handed over the government, it was under intense pressure to ensure that the Awami League supporters of Sheikh Hasina as well as the minorities in Bangladesh don't face any kind of atrocities, but that didn't happen. And almost every week, if I remember correctly, in every press briefing here back in Delhi, the MEA had categorically rejected all these allegations that India was somewhere fomenting this trouble and kept on appealing the Bangladeshi government there to ensure the safety of minorities, but certainly that hasn't happened. And now this new priest who has been arrested, the scenes outside the court when today as his bail was denied and police was taking him out of the court towards the police station, that is when
stay with us, because I want to quickly in fact tell our viewers about the visuals that have come in where those who were protesting the priest's arrest were in fact there was a crackdown against them that we can play on our screen for our viewers to see. In fact, there was some very violent crackdown that took place as far as the protests that happened from the Hindu community against the arrest of the Hindu priest. All right, Mohammad Ghazali, appreciate you giving us that perspective on what is happening as far as Bangladesh is concerned. All right, Major Reza Ul Karim as well as Ayanjit Sen joins me on the broadcast to discuss this in detail. In fact, Ayanjit, let me start with you first. As things stand right now, these are some very disturbing visuals coming in as far as the specific instance of the Hindu priest being arrested, being denied bail, but also more importantly, giving credence to what India has been saying for several months now, which is that the Hindu community is being targeted.
Well, I'd like to say where faith is shattered and homes are reduced to ashes and lives to dust, the Hindus in Bangladesh are definitely facing an unyielding storm of extremism, and what Chinmoy Krishna Das said, it is not an outspoken stance on any minority rights, but he's also held protests over atrocities against Hindus, but who were organized very peacefully. But unfortunately, he was treated like a terrorist because he had held those protests. And today, at the end of the day, after his arrest, Hindu protests are still continuing. But I think it's yet another dark chapter, as far as the prosecution of the Hindus in Bangladesh go. And there has been a systematic violence. And I wonder what the US government is doing, the administration is doing, because what Hizbullah Tahrir, Jamaat, and Hafaz-e-Islam, these groups are, roaming around the streets of Bangladesh without any fear. And that's something which definitely the current administration in Bangladesh should look into. Otherwise, things are going to go out of hand. And even the Indian Minister of External Affairs has also voiced its concern regarding this. So It's something which just because you are speaking, and it's not speaking against any the administration or against any party. He just simply Chinmoy Krishna Das just simply said that we are not with any political party. We want to safeguard our safeguard, that's the safeguard of safeguarding the Hindus. And that's something which it's a free speech country.
Let's
I
get in
hope.
Major Reza
Still.
Ul Karim to respond to that. Major Reza Ul Karim, which is that this has shattered the Hindu community and also raises questions once again of targeted attacks.
Assalamu alaikum to everyone in India and also in Bangladesh. Actually, before giving the answer, I just give introduction about actually what is the purpose of ISKCON. Actually, one of the motto of ISKCON is that reawaken their love of all human beings for God. So this is a very good motive that which the ISKCON has as per and this ISKCON belongs to the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, and it is philosophical based is on Sanskrit Bhagavad Gita. So we definitely respect their sentiment, but what is happening in Bangladesh, that is surprisingly a bit different. That doesn't go with any religious sentiment, like other, as mentioned by Mr. Ayanjit Sen, that in Bangladesh there are many religious groups like Harkatul Jihad and many other. So ISKCON is also same a religious sentiment group from Hindu community. ISKCON doesn't represent
Major Reza
all
Ul
the
Karim,
Hindus.
my question was,
Yeah.
this arrest would have shattered the Hindu community. And it...
Yeah, I'm coming to the questions.
Yeah.
I'm coming to the questions. So the ISKCON, it doesn't represent the whole Hindu community because ISKCON was founded in 1966. But Hindu religion, it is thousand years back. So my respect to all the Hindu community people, but ISKCON is actually creating different sentiment in Bangladesh, and also Bangladeshi people, what they are doing to ISKCON, I fully don't agree with that. But ISKCON also need to be a bit more patient, and also the people and the government of Bangladesh also need to be more patient. But there is a gap in understanding, especially the ISKCON. They have been disputed for their role before. Like there are a lot of Hindu people like Vishwajit, Nipun Rai, Goeshwar Chandra Rai. These are the people had been beaten,
Sir, this is not a discussion on Hindu religion, and this is not a discussion on who represents them. This is a very simple question I asked you, and a discussion on the fact that the Hindu community, which is about 8% in Bangladesh, they've said that they've been at the receiving end of a lot of attacks ever since there's been a power change that has taken place. All those fears, get further enhanced due to such arrests. Why was he denied bail?
I got your question, but fact is that actually the things happened. That is a different issue. The conspiracy behind the conspiracy. Here, the political motive
What
is
conspiracy?
working, keeping the religion at the front.
What conspiracy,
so,
sir?
Here, yeah, the conspiracy is that it's not exactly the ISKCON people. ISKCON is keeping at the forefront, but behind the ISKCON, there are some political figures with ill motive, like against the current government. Some political parties, they are working.
Ayanjit Sen, respond to that. There's a conspiracy angle that the Bangladesh interim government has said is the reason why the Hindu priest is now being kept in jail and has been denied bail.
And
keeping the conspiracy at all, because
Chinmoy Das is not.
Let Ayanjit respond. Let Ayanjit respond, please.
If you have followed the words of Chinmoy Krishna Das very carefully, Major Reza Ul, one thing he very clearly said that we are not against anybody. Number one. Number two, we are not favoring any political party or the current government in place. We are equally Bangladesh. We are equally a Bangladesh citizen. So from that perspective, there is no way that ISKCON or the Bangladesh
Mr. Sen,
So do you think,
I agree with you.
okay,
Mr.
then
Sen,
this,
I agree with you.
okay, all right.
Just a moment.
Major Reza Ul Karim, I'm going to ask you a
Yeah,
question and I'm going to give you a chance to respond also.
I need to answer
And I'm going to get a
something. I need to answer
counter from
something.
Ayanjit also. It's a very serious issue and an issue that in fact ignites a lot of passions, which is why we are trying to have a very dispassionate, objective, unbiased discussion on it. The question is that the crisis of confidence that the interim government has when it comes to the minority community in Bangladesh, do you think that gets amplified with Chinmoy Krishna Das not getting a bail and being jailed
Let me ask you, before answering, let me ask you one question. There are 8 claims by the ISKCON. Why those 8 claims had not been raised during the army government period? Why it is raised at this current government period? Then my second question to you, have you checked the reasons for which the Chinmoy is arrested? There is a proven allegation against him that he was instigating for communal riots.
No,
around the
he was
country.
speaking peacefully and the gathering was peaceful. But let's get Ayanjit to respond to that. Ayanjit, respond to the fact that those charges that have been raised and made against Chinmoy Krishna Das.
Well, the first thing is that you cannot impress upon sedition charges on a monk for saying something about a peaceful way of functioning of a democracy. If you consider
Bangladesh still a democracy, I fully agree with you. Mr. Sen, if it is true, what you say, then I fully agree with you.
Because it was said as sedition because he had adorned the saffron flag. But remember, it's not your country's flag. It was his flag, his organization's flag. Nothing to do with your country. But the Bangladesh at the end of the day remains Bangladesh. So from that perspective, he didn't do anything illegal. And number 2, most importantly, you said that it's proven. How can you prove a charge against somebody? The case is yet to, the case has gone to the court, but it has not been decided as yet. Just because of the way he spoke does not mean that at the end of the day, he is found guilty, number 1. And number 2, he very clearly said one thing, that I am not against any political party of Bangladesh or anybody to do with the current administration. We are just voicing our concerns, our feelings. From that perspective.
Okay, let's get in a very quick response from Dhaka, given the fact that there are many who are dissatisfied.
In the court premises, people had been found there with the trishul and they were behaving very extreme and kind of extremism was observed in front of the court. So, actually proven means there are a lot of videos.
So nothing is proven, there are only allegations, and what we are seeing are very disturbing visuals of people peacefully protesting being in fact at the receiving end of a crackdown. But this is an issue I'm going to come back to in the next couple of days, because unfortunately it looks like this could be part of a larger issue that India has been raising diplomatically against Bangladesh, to Bangladesh on more occasions. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for taking out your time and being on India Global. In fact, some of those visuals have been truly disturbing that have come in from Bangladesh.